Germany's Bundesbank has a plan in the drawer for printing Deutsche Marks again, former Greek Minister Yanis Varoufakis claimed in a largely forgotten speech. 10 years after the financial crisis, Europe's economy achieved a recovery, but not a revival. Low inflation, low interest rates and low growth were the new normal across the continent. Then, the coronavirus pandemic hit, causing incredible damage to the economies of numerous countries. That would echo the downturn at the start of 2020, even if less severe, and increase pressure on indebted governments and the European Central Bank, which meets to set policy next week, to provide more financial support. The outbreak is expected to push debt as a percentage of GDP up to 200% in Greece, the second highest in the world, 158% in Italy and 120% in Spain. Amid fears the Eurozone might not be able to survive, a speech by former Greek Finance Minister Yanis Varoufakis has resurfaced. The economist and former politician argued that the Bundesbank, the German federal bank, already has a plan for when the debt of other Eurozone countries will become too much. In a 2018 debate at the Oxford Union, the ex-Greek minister said, "The euro will break up. If it breaks up, I am not wishing that it does, I am simply describing the future as I see it. The way it will happen is that Germany will leave the euro once the Berlin political class has had enough of the riffraff, asking the Greeks, the Italians, the French, the Portuguese and so on, the moment they start sniffing in the wind that possibility they might have to bail out 2.7 trillion euros of Italian debt. Believe you me, the Bundesbank already has a plan in the drawer for printing Deutsche Marks." Mr. Varoufakis then explained what will happen after is that all German accounts will be redenominated from euros to Deutsche Marks immediately, as Germany has a gigantic account surplus. He added, "The nearer we are getting to a fragmentation of the euro, the higher the value of the German euro. Of course what will happen is euros will be shifted from Italian bank accounts to German bank accounts. This is already happening. There are about 200 billion in the last 18 months that have shifted from Italian to German bank accounts because of the risk of keeping your euros in a country that after the breakup of the Eurozone will see its currency redenominated downwards, not outwards." Back in March, Mr. Varoufakis brilliantly explained everything wrong with the EU's response to the pandemic and revealed what the bloc should be doing instead. In a video posted on his YouTube channel DM25, he said, "The Eurogroup, the EU and in particular the Eurozone are terribly structured. They are on autopilot. They simply follow particular rules that cannot be followed without wrecking our economies. It is a reflection of a system that has been created in order to prevent governments from acting on behalf of society. That is if you want the neoliberal kernel inside Europe." Referring to the proposals of his political movement DM25 or Democracy in Europe Movement 2025, the former finance minister said, "We need a common investment policy based on an alliance between the European Investment Bank and the European Central Bank. We need a universal basic dividend. We need a carbon tax and a social equity fund, the purpose of which will be to energize both private capital and public finance. We need public financial instruments in order to take the liquidity that exists in our financial circuits and put it into good use. Press them into public service in terms of public health, in terms of creating good quality jobs." The agenda of DM25 has never been more pertinent and has never been more urgent than today. At the end of summer, EU leaders, spearheaded by German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President Emmanuel Macron, struck a deal on a huge coronavirus recovery package after days of bitter talks. The €750 billion, £668 billion coronavirus fund will be used as loans and grants to the countries hit hardest by the virus. The remaining money represents the EU budget for the next 7 years. However, Mr. Varoufakis immediately criticized the measures, claiming they will take Europe another step towards disintegration.